Okay. Wow. So I'm recording myself now. सही है. Fine. So we will be talking about all these parts now. So have we talked about the calyx? No, no. We will just quickly go through it. When we talk about the calyx, what is the individual member of calyx is known as sepals, right? And there are two conditions in this. The outermost whorl of flower is called as calyx, and individual member of calyx is known as what? Sepal. What are the functions of calyx? We already know that they are green in color, so they can carry out photosynthesis. On top of that, what is the function? When the flower is in bud condition, it can protect the flower also. Now, one more condition we need to understand here is the calyx can be gamocephalous or calyx can be polycephalous. Gamocephalous means what? You can see here. If the calyx is fused together here, can you see here? When the calyx is fused, when the sepals, the individual members of the calyx are fused together, it is called as what? It is called as gamocephalous condition. And here in the rose plant, you can see the sepals are separated out. This condition is known as polycephalous. Any doubts here?
सर
तो
ये स्ट्रक्चर क्या डिसाइड करता है कि वो
Mhm.
यूनिट रहेगा कि फ्री रहेगा, ऐसा कुछ
There
है
is
कि डायरेक्टली आता है?
No, there is no such differentiation. It depends upon the function of the flower. They say here you can see when the calyx is gamocephalous here, जब sepal polycephalous है यहाँ पे, sorry gamocephalous है यहाँ पे, you can see the petals are arranged in a different pattern. As in case of rose, it is polycephalous. ऐसे कुछ there's no as such distinction here कि what is going to decide whether it is gamocephalous or polycephalous, but it is just for our understanding, for our classification, we are calling it as what? Gamocephalous or gamocephalous or polypetalous.
पॉलीसेफेलस.
Polycephalous. Clear?
यस सर.
देवांश समझा क्या?
सर निखिल ने पूछा.
नहीं तो दोनों को पूछ रहा हूँ मैं क्योंकि दोनों ही है ना तुम लोग.
हाँ यस सर, समझा.
समझा सर, समझा.
Okay. Then we have the flowers based on the corolla, or the individual members is called as what? Calyx. So as you can see here, what is there? The wall inner to the calyx is known as corolla. It is composed of individual members called petals, and it is brightly colored. Can anybody tell me why it is brightly colored? क्यों है वो brightly colored?
They're attracting insects for
Yes,
pollination.
it has to do a lot of decoration so that it can attract insects for pollination. Otherwise, insects will not turn up to them. No, neither insects, neither birds will get turn up to them. So to attract insects for pollination and allow the plant to carry out sexual reproduction, pollination होना बहुत जरूरी है. And for pollination, pollen grain has to go from one part of the flower, that is anther, to the stigma. So who is going to help it? This corolla is going to help by attracting the insects and birds for the pollination. In case of corolla, when I talk about petals, again we have two conditions. If the petals are united, it forms a funnel shaped structure. Can you see here? This is forming a funnel shaped structure here. This is called as what? Gamopetalis. And if my, what you can say, petals are free, that is called as what? Polypetalis. So that is a two condition. Now here you can see in this flower, petals are free, that is polypetalis, but calyx is fused, that is sepals are fused, that is called as what? Gamocephalous. And in this flower, you can see the sepals are free, so they are polycephalous, and corolla or petals are fused, that is called as what? Gamopetalis. So you should not get confused between the terms. अगर यूनाइटेड है तो गैमो यूज करेंगे हम टर्म, अगर फ्री है तो हम पॉली यूज करेंगे उसको टर्म. इट विल डिपेंड अपॉन कैलिक्स के लिए हम सेपल यूज करेंगे, और ये करोला के लिए हम क्या यूज करेंगे? पेटल्स यूज करेंगे. सो व्हाट आर द फोर टर्म्स वी हैव एनकाउंटर्ड हियर? हु कैन टेल मी व्हाट आर द फोर टर्म्स वी हैव एनकाउंटर्ड?
रोला.
Corolla, we talked about corolla, and individual member of corolla is called as petals. And what are the two conditions in that?
सर यूनाइटेड एंड फ्री है,
हाँ,
उसमें गैमेपेटालस और
Gamo,
पॉलीपेटालस.
Gamopetalis, that is, what is meaning of Gamopetalis? The,
सर वो यूनाइटेड है और वो
yes,
सर
yes.
पेयर शेप बोलेंगे कि
No, funnel shape बोल सकते हैं. Petals are united. So in this case, petals are united. And what is gamono? Polypetalous. Polypetalous क्या होगा?
will
Pol-
be free. उसका उल्टा.
Will be free. उसका उल्टा, उसका opposite. So your petals are free or they are not united. That is one thing we understood about corolla. What about my calyx? What are the two conditions in calyx? I'll take a different color. Okay, इसका ये different color हो गया, पूरा का पूरा box से different color हो गया. So I will take a new text and I will take a new color. Okay, what about the this one calyx? We understood
Yes.
calyx.
Calyx में sepals होते हैं.
Calyx individual member is called sepals, and it can be free or this one. So if it is fused, then it is called what?
also
Gamocephalous.
Paris.
Gamocephalous. So it is gamocephalous condition. And what does it means? It means
Sepals are united.
united sepals. And polypetalous condition.
Sir, sepals.
Sepalous.
Yes, I wanted you to tell me. That's why I said that sepalous condition is what? When
Free.
Free.
sepals are free. Free means they are not going here and there. Free means they are not united together. So very true. We have understood about the calyx and corolla, and based on the fusion or free calyx and corolla, we have four different type of arrangement. So these terms are important. Don't get confused with those terms. Let us go ahead. Now we will be talking about, as you said, estivation. Now, what is meaning of estivation? You know that the calyx which is there or corolla which is there, yeah, as you can see in this flower, you can see the definite arrangement of petals here. This is one arrangement of petals. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Here also this is one arrangement of petals. Here also arrangement of petals. Here also there is a separate arrangement of petals. So this arrangement of petals or sepals is known as what? Estivation. If I look it from the top, as you can see here, if I look it from the top or take a transverse section, the valvate estivation will look like this, twisted would look like this, imbricate would look like this, and vexillary would look like this. What are this name? Let us talk about this. Let us roughly understand and then each one we will see in details. What happens in valvate? You can see each member is connected from end to end or from one corner to another corner. Can you see this? Each member of the petal is connected end to end. This type of estivation is called as what? Valvate estivation. Okay. In this,
सर
yes, bolo.
सर इसमें ये सेपल्स मतलब उतना डिफरेंट नहीं लग रहा है तो वो
नहीं,
कैसे डिफरेंशिएशन
नहीं, नहीं.
करेंगे?
See, it is basically what you are asking is very true. This estivation usually हम petals के बारे में बात करते हैं. The arrangement of petals we call it as estivation, but nevertheless sometimes we can also consider the arrangement of sepals. In this diagram, we are not interested in sepals. We are seeing the estivation comparing or seeing the arrangement of the petals. Clear?
यस सर.
So if petals are arranged one to one without touching, just touching the corners or the edges, it is called as what? Velvet estivation. Fine. If you can see here, one is inside the another, or see here, this is one petal, then this is another petal. So ये ऐसे एक के अंदर एक जा रहा है. One is going inside. So this is going here, this is going here. So one end is getting cover and one end is open. So this type of estivation is called as what? Twisted estivation. Okay. And there is something called as imbricate here. Now what is imbricate? Here you can see some petal is covered on both the ends. Like this petal is covered from here also and here also. And one petal is completely outside. It is covering two other petals inside. So there is no definite arrangement, right? One petal is completely outside, one petal is completely inside, covering by two other petals. So when there is no such arrangement of petals, it is called as what? Imbricate. Okay. And when the petals are like this, there is one big petal, okay, that is called standard. Then there is this one, Sorry, this one is just bigger one is called maxillary. Then there is a standard two petals are there, and the lowermost two petals are fused together. Lowermost two petals are fused together. That is called as keel. कील बोलते हैं या उसको करीना बोलते हैं, उसका अलग नाम है उसका. And this is called as what? Vexillary arrangement. So what are the four type of arrangement based on the arrangement of petals? That is called estivation. It could be valvate, it could be twisted, it could be imbricate, it could be vexillary. Any doubts here?
सर इम्ब्रिकेट में नंबर ऑफ आउट जो
No,
आउटर पेटल्स
petals
है.
that can vary. The number of petals can vary, but one thing is sure: it is neither following velvet estivation, it is neither following twisted estivation. It is just connecting from one anyhow. Either one petal is covered by two other petal, or one petal is outside and it is covering another two petal. There is no definite arrangement. It is neither following velvet, it is neither following twisted. So since there is no definite arrangement, it is called as what? Imbricate. Okay. Any doubts, Devansh?
No, sir.
O- Okay. So we'll take example of each of this. So the best example to understand about the valvate estivation, what we understood here, sepals or petals in a world just touch one another at the margin without overlapping. Now this is very, very important. So they are just touching the margins, but there is no overlapping anywhere, as you can see clearly in this picture here. An example of this type of flower is calotropis. You must have seen this, no, flowers? So here you can see the end to end, there is only touching. They're just touching end to end, but they are neither overlapping or neither doing anything. So this type of estivation is called as what? Velvet estivation. Best example to remember, because this might come in the NEET or CET. What is the example you should remember? Calotropis is the example. Okay. Next is estivation we are talking about is twisted, as we talked about. What happens in twisted? As you can see here, one margin of the appendages overlap that of next one and so on. So one is inside the other. Example is China rose, the hibiscus rose we see, or hibiscus plant we use. uh, जासवंद भी बोलते हैं उसको मराठी में. So this is a plant we see in our day-to-day life. Ganpati likes this, no? गणपति को चढ़ाते हैं हम ये flower. So this flower, as you can see, this is going to have one is covering the other. Okay, and this is my which estivation? Twisted estivation. And another example of this is ladies' fingers and cotton. Okay, so two examples we remembered here. And then we have this one where the margins or the margins of sepals or petals overlap one another but not in any particular direction or not in any particular pattern. As you can see here, in the case of all these plants, cassia and the gulmohar plant, they are not following any of the pattern, and this is called as what? Imbricate estivation of sepals and petals. And the last one, most important, इस पे बहुत सारे questions come in the exam also. Write a short note, or this is a favorite question for CET and NEET also. So as you can see here, the how many petals are there? Basically you can see the petals here. One is the bigger one, this one. Then there are two in the sides and one in the center, which is fused together. This is a fused petal. So one bigger petal, two smaller ones on the sides, and the lowermost two are the fused together. So in this there are five petals, as you can see. The largest one is called standard. The largest one is called standard, which is going to overlap the two lateral ones. So this is going to overlap the two lateral ones, which is called as wings, which in turn overlap the two smallest anterior petals, that is called as what? Kill. So this is my kill. So the outermost is standard, two lowermost are the wings, and two lowermost which are fused together are called as what? Kill. This type of arrangement of petals you will see in pea plant, Pisum sativum plant. We are going to study about this plant when we talk about genetics, Mendelian genetics. When we'll talk about this Pisum plant, Pisum sativum plant, pea plant, and the bean plant. You can see here. Can you see this type of flower here also? This is my standard petals. Then sepals also they are marked. These are the two wings. and the lowermost which is fused together here, that is my kill. So standard, wings and kill. This type of special arrangement of flowers are found in the pea plant and the bean plant, and this type of estivation is called as what? Waxillary, also known as papilionaceous arrangement. The other name for this is also known as what? Papilionaceous. Clear? Any doubts?
नो सर.
सर
Okay.
वन डाउट सर, इधर सेपल्स का क्या काम है? मतलब कि उन्होंने डेफिनेशन में लिखा था कि इट इज द अरेंजमेंट ऑफ पेटल्स एंड सेपल्स इन द फ्लोरल, बट तो इधर सेपल्स का क्या काम है?
Suppose अगर हमारे फ्लावर में पेटल नहीं है, there are no petals, and I have to decide the estivation based on the calyx, then what we will consider?
सेपल्स को ही कंसिडर करते
Petals
हैं.
consider करेंगे. So either you take petals arrangement for estivation, or you can take calyx arrangement for the estivation. So you should mention. So if you are doing some research and you have identified a new plant or a flower, and we are trying to find out the estivation, you should mention which part you, on which part, based on which part you are doing the estivation. Either you are depending on the calyx and sepals, or you are depending upon the corolla and the petals. But conditions will remain the same. Either it will be valvate, it will be twisted, it will be maxillary, or imbricate. Any one out of the four. Okay.
ओके सर.
So I want Nikhil to answer me what is meant by estivation quickly.
Sir, arrangement of the flowers.
Arrangement of the,
Sir, sorry, sepals and petals.
very true. That's what I wanted you to correct. So arrangement of the sepals in the calyx or arrangement of the petals in the corolla is known as what? Estivation. Devansh, what are the four main types of estivations?
Sir, valvate, twisted, imbricate, vexillary. Vexillary is also known as papillonaceous.
Very good. So valvate, twisted, imbricate, and vexillary. Vexillary is also known as papillonaceous type of estivation. Okay, Nikhil, I want you to explain what is vexillary estivation.
Sir, axillary estivation is the estivation in which there are four parts. The largest is the standard, is known as standard, which overlaps the two lateral petals, which also overlaps the smallest petal,
Okay.
known as keel.
Hmm.
Uh,
And what are lateral ones
Between
known as?
these, huh? Yes, sir.
Lateral, what are lateral ones known as?
Sir, lateral ones wings.
Very good. So there is big one, standard, which is overlapping to lateral one's wings, and wings in turn is overlapping the smallest anterior petal, that is called as what? Kill. Okay, I have one doubt. Why are we studying about this estivation? Why it is so important to study about this estivation?
सर शायद से वो रिप्रोडक्शन के समय ये भी इन्वॉल्व है, तो मे बी इन अ फुल प्रोसेस वी हैव टू एक्सप्लेन.
No, we know that calyx and corolla is only the non-accessory words. Even if they are not present, it's okay. Calyx is just to carry out photosynthesis and protect the flower in the bud condition. And corolla is just to attract insect for pollination and protect the inner worlds of the flower, that is androecium and gynoecium. But why do you think we are studying so much in details? What is the use of studying the arrangement of these petals and sepals? I had given you a hint when I was discussing it. What, Devansh, क्या लगता है आपको?
Sir, it maybe it might help for classification of these plants.
Very, 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 very true. Because ultimately, we have still so many plants which are not being discovered, or there are identification going on. So suppose if I found a new plant and I want to put it in a proper category, then I should be knowing all the characters, the type of stem, the type of root, the type of leaves, the type of flower. And when I talk about the type of flower, I should be knowing the estivation also, what is the arrangement of the calyx and corolla. So one of the important application of learning all these things is for what? Classification of particular flower or particular plant. And when we do the classification, this information will be also used in some research work. Suppose I'm doing some research work on that plant, I have found that that plant has some antimicrobial agent into it, then or some chemical which is useful to us, then I should be knowing the classification of the plant. No, I should be knowing about the arrangement of flowers and all these things. So for all that purpose, this is going to help me out. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.